Hey y'all, hi. Today I am shopping my stash for spring summer makeup trends. I have a list of makeup techniques and products that are trending for spring and going into summer. And instead of going out and buying anything new in order to test out those trends, I'm just going to the makeup I already have, makeup that I've owned for a long time. I'm pulling products that I can use to try out those trends. And it's actually really fun because some of these things I love and I've kind of lost touch with. So it feels a little bit like getting something new, but in each case, the new thing that I've newly shopped my stash for is something that I've either purchased myself or decided to keep through several declutters that I know that I really, really love. So I've ended up with kind of an exciting little pile of products to use more intently over the next couple of weeks. As you may be able to tell, I'm starting the video with a bare face, so I'm going to go through and put most of the things for which I've shopped my stash onto my face. Might not be advisable. I feel like a lot of these trends are kind of meant to stand alone. It's going to be a little bit experimental, but I felt it would be more fun if I put the products on while I told you what it is I had chosen. If this is your first time to my channel, then welcome. This is kind of a quintessential video for me. I'm really interested in aesthetics at large. I make videos about beauty and fashion, but I'm also interested in thoughtful consumerism. And for me, being a thoughtful consumer means using actively the things that I already own. So this little project combines a bunch of my interests. And if you like it, I hope you will subscribe. Now, let's go ahead and get into the meat of the video. I'm tempted to start with lips because, well, for a number of reasons. I'm going to have to layer products in order to actually test out most things. I'm very excited about the lip products that I've chosen, and I expect I might be wearing them with a mostly bare face. So by putting them on, I'll kind of get to see what I have to look forward to. By putting them on first, I mean. And then the last factor is that my lips are just feeling dry and I kind of want to get something on them. So let's do it. I'm going from a list that I found online on bazaar.com, like the Bazaar website. But it's not totally random. The list and the things that I chose from the list definitely align with what my spider senses are kind of telling me is trending for spring, summer, and makeup. And one of the trends, maybe the most exciting one, is 90s browns. I don't think it's specific to lip products, but I chose lip products to fill this category. And I feel like the 90s brown lip is the fullest realization of the 90s brown in makeup. I hope we'll see more brown blushes. I love a good brown eyeshadow, but I shopped my stash for these brown lips. It's not like I haven't been wearing Merit 1990. I mean, I actually have. I've actually been wearing it a lot. This is one of my favorite lipsticks. It's not just the color, it's the formula. Well, it's both. The color is super wearable, but doesn't lean orange, and that's amazing. And then it's got this very nourishing chapsticky feel and isn't too opaque. It's that perfect in-between, a lipstick that feels like a kind of lip care rather than a tinted balm. Like it's more of a lipstick than a chapstick, but it has a lot of great qualities that not all lipsticks have when it comes to just ease of wear. Partly because I've already been wearing Merit 1990 so much this season, I also picked Gucci Royal Scandal, which I'm worried might be discontinued. This is the most glorious grungy brown. It's even more cool toned. It's more of a pigment lipstick. It's got that classic like satin finish. But together, they're two of my absolute favorites. I mean, two of the absolute top lipsticks in my collection. And it's exciting to have an excuse to wear them more this season. So I'm going to wear a Royal Scandal today, but I'm going to go for a little bit of lighter coverage because I know I'm going to be putting makeup all over the rest of my face. So I'm not lining my lips. I'm using my finger to like push the product and the pigment into the skin of my lips so that it'll have more longevity and won't just wear off as soon as I start talking or, take a drink of water. But I'm not going to layer too much more on top after that. I'm kind of trying to use it to stain my lips, which is a look that I really enjoy. There we go. A very grungy brown, almost a gray in its own way, especially because it's such a light layer. And so the mauve color of my natural lips kind of mixing with it and making it, I would say, even more cool toned. I actually love just this as a look. Brows and lips. And I forgot to say, once again, I'm not applying this product on camera and I wish that I had. Where's the little pencil? This little brow kit recently came in PR and I mentioned it and briefly used the gel in that video where I was a little bit bit off the rails, kind of desultorily applying makeup, boring content. I'll link that video. The brand is Kimiko. Sorry, the gel is upside down, but I'll link them. Today was the first real test, and I usually put in a gel, let it set, and then go in and do any kind of filling in or hair strokes, because I don't like it when I fill in my brows with something and then I go in with a gel and that gel sort of liquefies the pigment that I've applied and it gets messy, and then like dark smears of colored gel get on my skin and it's harder to clean up. So I usually do it the other way. I think most people will fill in with a pencil and then set with a gel, but I think it's because I use so much gel or pomade or whatever because my brows are so stubborn. But I learned the first time I used this that the Kimiko brow gel is really strong. Like you just need a little bit and it sets completely, like stronghold hair gel kind of. So I did it the normal way. I penciled them in first and then I went in with the gel. Also, it's like they're meant to go together and I bet that that's how they were designed. I couldn't believe it. I can't believe how symmetrical and kind of delicate, perfectly filled in and set in place they are and how easy it was. I really wish that I'd been down here and that I'd filmed it, but I was just trying to like prep to showcase all these other products, so I didn't. But I'll do it on camera soon. The color match is excellent. I mean, the color is called Coffee and it's clearly a really good match color-wise, like if you're trying to match exactly for my hair, which is, this is like the natural color of my hair. There's a slight warmth to the color. I prefer an ashier brow, like a really ashy, cool-toned brow, so that's not my favorite, but there's no denying that it works. Anyway, just wanted to let you know, but these brows and this lip and, a little bit of base product on and nothing else, that's definitely the trend. That's a look I really love, and I'm looking forward to looking like this in the coming days, but not today because we have more to do. Okay, the next trend for which I shopped my stash is dewiness all over. Dewiness all over. And these are those pictures of the models where their skin looks kind of drenched walking down the runway, and it's like they're not really wearing any other makeup, right? So that's why I'm saying I'm going to be layering trends. I feel like the actual trend is to take a dewy product and use it pretty much as the only thing. And, maybe I'll end up kind of with that look because I'm doing it next. So we'll see what that would look like with a pretty simple makeup look and dewiness all over. The thing I shot my stash for is this, the Rouge Face Palette, La Palette Visage. I got this from Violet Grey back in the day, and then I think they stopped carrying it. It might still be on the Rouge website. I'll link it wherever I can find it. This is the highlighter I'm going to use for dewiness all over. So all over, according to the pictures, really means like you look wet. I really like this product. I like the one that I'm using in particular, the bright highlight. The other two highlights, they look a little orange on me, so I don't end up using them as much as I hoped that I would when I originally reviewed this. I'm going to take this dewiness under my brow because I'm trying to do it all over. I'm not going to put it right on my lids. Oh my gosh. I like this. I like this trend. So I think we also need to do a little like of that because they really mean all over. It's not my favorite. Maybe. Okay, I really feel dewy all over. That product really came through. It's funny, I've said this before. I tend to underuse palettes of face products. I love an eye palette and I love a face product palette in theory. Like my passions love it. And then I find that I don't open them as much. I tend to open products to use them that are just a single product with a single color. And so I think it's because there are 6 products in this little compact that I tend to overlook the one that is my favorite. I also like the blushes actually. And I might end up using them with this on top of my vanity since I shopped my stash for it. That was what I'm getting at. I'm looking forward to having this like right in my face every day and seeing if that causes me to use it more. So again, I here have a look that I would just wear with nothing else. Like it's kind of fun that it's coming along that way. I would have worn it without the dewiness. I would wear this with just the super dewy face and the lip. And I wonder if at some point, as I keep adding things, if we'll get to the point where there will be like kind of too much or too many conflicting things going on and I wouldn't really wear it. But I'm going to try to keep that from happening. I'm going to try. Okay, the next trend, and this might be the one that kind of upsets the cart. The next trend is strong blush. As some of you know, I've been on the hunt for desaturated blush lately. I've been into blushes that look natural on me. So for shopping my stash for the strong blush trend, I felt like I had to pick out some blushes that are actually strong colors on me and maybe a little bit different from the colors that I usually use, in addition to being products with which I can create a strong look in that there's like a lot of blush on my cheeks. So I picked out these Phytosurgence blushes, Simmer and Fervor. These made it through my most vicious, most recent declutter around the holidays because I love the formula of these so much. They made it through even though they're unusual blush colors for me, and that is why they kind of sprung to my mind mind when I was shopping my stash. So here's Fervor. It's kind of an intense berry almost. It looks a little bit more purplish in person than I think maybe it looks on camera. And here's Simmer, which actually can look pretty natural on me. It's kind of a bright pinky coral in the pot, but buffed out. I can kind of get that natural flush. Whoa, look at those. Look at them. They're so painty. Simmer's on top there and Fervor is on the bottom. So because of their melty, painty formulas, I've said it before, they're kind of like chocolate that is so soft, like a chocolate ganache truffle. It's solid, but it's so soft, so close to being liquid that just one touch of your finger melts it. That's kind of what they feel like. So because they are that way, they make me want to use a lot of them. They make me want to blush drape. And again, that's why I picked them for this role, because having them on my vanity, having them in my shop, my stash pile is going to encourage me to wear stronger blush in the coming days, weeks, maybe month or two, even though it's something I've been shying away from a little bit. So everything that I've done so far, it's like right in the wheelhouse of what's currently trending in my soul. But strong blush draping with colors like this isn't really trending in my soul right now. And it's going to be interesting for that reason to see how it goes. I am going to try to rein it in today. I'm going to put a little bit of color on here, but I just don't want this look to get overwhelmed by blush. And I'm also aware that I have two more things that I have to put on, like two more trends that I have to exemplify with this look. So what I'm saying is I'm gonna do just a tiny bit today. A little goes such a long way with this product. But I promise myself and I promise you that I will go stronger, that I will go more the trend soon. These blushes will make me do it. So I'm keeping it up on top of my cheekbones, keeping it on like the outer part of my face. Like if there was a line down the middle of my eyeball, all the blush is staying on the outside of that line. There, I feel like I've added some color, and it is a color that's kind of strong for me, but I've done it without disrupting the dewiness and competing too much with the lip. Phew, dodged a bullet there. I was afraid I was gonna end up, we've seen it happen before. Okay, the second to last of the trends that I am interested in today is kind of dewiness adjacent, but it's frostiness. And I feel like this is kind of an interesting opportunity to dive into the difference between dewiness and frostiness. Dewiness to me is like you look drenched, wet with water. And frostiness to me means that there is like a reflect, sort of a silver or a pinky silver reflect that has its own quality that sort of obscures the color underneath it. It has like a strength about it. It's not sheer, I guess is what I'm saying. It's a little bit white tinged, white casted, hence the term frost. So I picked kind of an interesting product for this one. The 1111 Quad from Rowan, which is a fantastic product for me to be shopping my stash for, because I have in the past been such a massive fan of this formula. And there were times in my life when I was using it basically all the time, like the only thing. That is Frosty. That is Frosty. So it's the one called Situation, the really chunky one. But because it's a cream, I mean, it is an eyeshadow. It's like a really lovely, creamy, crinkly eyeshadow product. So it is that, but also because it is a cream, I feel like I can use it other places on my face because dewiness all over was one of the trends. And then frosted everything was also one of the trends. So they were saying like frosted eyeshadow, frosted lip products, frosted cheeks, et cetera, et cetera. And I think I can use this for everything. And I'm gonna start with just a little bit of it on my eyes. We're dewy and frosty on the eyes. And I'm gonna see what happens if I put a little bit. Oh yeah, that is a frosted lip. This is definitely like an all-purpose frosting. And I'm not really all that mad at a frosted lip, especially with an undertone like this, like a grounding undertone. I like that better than I thought I would. And it still looks very 90s. We may have crossed over though with that into something that I would be less excited to wear in the everyday, like a little bit less the daily makeup that I've been into lately. But maybe if I didn't have the blush on or I didn't have the eyes on or something like that, maybe if it was just that frosted brown lip as my version of the 90s brown on any given day. And I think that Rowan eyeshadow is going to be pretty wearable on the lips and probably would be on the cheeks as well. The last trend is the one that I feel the most trepidatious about putting on top of all of this. So I'll need to really decide if I'm going to go the distance with that right now because I'm doing other things today. That's why I'm holding back a little bit instead of just going for it here at the end. I'm putting on makeup like for my day, which is going to involve making other content and also seeing people socially. So I want it to remain in the realm of what's like comfortably and joyfully wearable for me today. And the last one, like strong blush, is one that is pushing me out of my current comfort zone a little bit. It's something that I've enjoyed a lot in the past and will definitely enjoy intermittently in the future, but that right now I just haven't been doing. And that is pops of strong color. And you know, what they mean is like pops of color like green and blue and yellow, like really strong colors that contrast with the colors of natural makeup for your coloring, whatever those colors are. So for me, those are like bright, strong, cool toned things like green and blue and purple. And those are the kinds of colors that I just haven't been wearing that much. I do still love the idea of an all over the lid matte periwinkle eye, or even matte like pale lavender, pale purple eye. I still find myself attracted to some of these like euphoria makeup ideas as long as it's kept super simple and there's nothing else really competing with it on my face for when I wear a thing like that. And I feel like I've already screwed the pooch on that. Like I can't do that today, but that's what I'm looking forward to for the future. So I've pulled a couple of eyeshadow palettes that are going to help me access color a little bit in that way. One is this Gucci palette, which when it was released a couple of years ago, I thought it wasn't limited edition, but now I think it is and I can never link it. But you know, it's that blue, which is one of the reasons, that blue is one of the reasons I keep this palette. I'm gonna have this on my vanity. It's been put away for a while and we'll see. We'll see if I end up going there. And I also decided to pull out one of my Pat McGrath palettes. I just haven't been wearing my eyeshadow palettes lately. I have been using the little palette that I built the last time I built my own palette in an overhead video, which is like forever ago. And then I've had like the Chantecaille single, my Tom Ford single. I've just been using like the same basic things over and over again. So this is a really good excuse to get Midnight Sun back out because there's also kind of a cool bluey purple in here. The question that I had going into this video is, could I finish this look with a pop of color like in the inner corner or a little wing or something and successfully have done it all on my face all at once? But I just don't want to. I want to leave it like this. I'm going to put on a little mascara. I'm just going to leave it on my top lashes. Sometimes I think it can be a cool, fresh look to just have mascara on the top lashes and leave the bottom lashes bare. It's helping keep the whole thing more minimal. I think that the Frosty product, putting the frost not just on my lids, but also on my lips, I think that it ramped up the look more than I was expecting. Maybe if I hadn't done that, I could have added the pop of color and it would have still felt balanced to me. But I know that I'll feel happier for the rest of the day just leaving it like this. But I'm going to promise myself again and you some adventures in pops of strong color in the name of experiencing that trend going into summer. And it'll be cool to see where else these palettes take me because again, they're gonna feel like almost like new makeup to me sitting on my vanity. I just can tell I'm gonna wake up tomorrow morning, sit down to do my makeup, look at the vanity and be like, oh, my Pat McGrath palette, my Gucci palette, like what? And then I'll open them up and it's like, ooh, what am I gonna do today? You know, I haven't been doing that. I haven't had that in a long time. So quick recap, we have a couple of palettes that have strong colors in them for the trend pops of color. We have the Rowan 1111 Quad, most particularly Situation, which is this really frosty one here for frosted everything. We have Phytosurgence Fervor and Simmer for strong blush. We have the Rouge La Palette Visage, particularly this highlighter for dewiness all over. This one really came through and I'm excited to do more of that. And then for the 90s browns, we've got 1990 from Merit and Gucci's lipstick, A Royal Scandal. It's been a while since I did this. I've been thoughtfully exploring a more minimal makeup aesthetic and talking about that. I made a whole video about that. So it's not as though I've been out of touch with my makeup because I actually have been spending a lot of time thinking, oh, this is what interests me now. This is the way that I'm interested in doing my makeup now. I wonder where that's coming from. You know what I mean? I've been like in it, but I also haven't been rotating my products out. I've been sort of stuck in a rut. I've been exploring makeup in my own way, but I've also kind of been stuck in a rut with the products that I've been using. As we know, inevitably that leads to the desire to purchase new stuff, a desire that I find can so often, so easily be quelled just by a quick stash shopping. And I feel like that's what's happened for me today. I also like how the look came out. It's unexpected, especially the frostiness is a little bit unexpected, but it's absolutely wearable and I'm excited to wear it and get on with my day. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope this was fun for you. Let me know in the comments which one of these trends excites you the most. I always love finding out what you all are thinking about this stuff too. So please share if you're willing, but whatever whatever you do, don't forget to take extra good care of yourself so that you can be the most effective version of yourself as you do your work in the world.